Hey y'all, today I'm going to show you how to make my wire wrap bangle. I have a kit for this that you can purchase, and you can either work on it in my shop or you can take it home and make it at home using this video. Alright, here we go. Okay, in your kit you will receive your beads, your bracelet wire, and then some thinner wire. This is for attaching the beads onto the bracelet. You need a pair of pliers, and if you have a pair of wire cutters, that will be useful, although this wire is thin enough that you can just cut it with scissors. So if you do not have wire cutters, scissors will work for this. Okay, the first step is to get a piece of paper and grab a bangle that you have that you know fits. This is a very necessary step because I tried to eyeball my first two of these and I ended up making them way too big. Even this one is way too big for my wrist. So I've got this bangle which fits me, and I'm going to trace kind of around the inside of my bangle. So this gives me an idea of how big my bracelet needs to be. So what I'm gonna do is kind of find my ends here, and I'm just gonna kind of tighten it up so that it makes a circle that's about the size of the one that I've just traced. Just gonna work it around, lay it down on there. Okay, that might be, that's close. Let's see. Okay, I think that will work. Maybe ease it out a little. All right, so now we've got the size of our bracelet. Now you'll notice when you get your kit, one end has a small loop. This is where we're gonna start, okay? So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my wire, my thin wire, I'm gonna go through this loop just a little bit, holding my bracelet tight here, and I'm gonna grab that and I'm gonna wrap it around a couple of times. This is gonna hold my bracelet in place. Where pliers come in handy is when you have a little piece that's sticking up like this is. You don't wanna poke yourself. So I'm gonna grab my pliers and I'm gonna use them to just smush that piece down. Okay, you can pinch, you can smush, whatever works for you. All right, now we're gonna attach our first bead. So you can kind of lay out your beads. I know I'm gonna have one right here, and I've got 5 here, so I'm kind of evenly space them. I like that. So my first bead, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna slide this bead on. Okay, and it's gonna lay down on here like this. I'm gonna hold it in place and pull it tight, okay? So I've got it right here, it's coming through there. I'm gonna make sure it's right up there. I'm holding it tight right here, and now I'm gonna wrap around, you know, three or 4 times. I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna come on back around, and sometimes with these beads, I don't feel like they're secure enough. If you feel like it is, that's fine. I'm actually going to well, if I can grab the end of my wire, I'm gonna take the end of my wire and I'm gonna go back through that hole to the other side. Make sure it's not twisted or it's not gonna wanna go through. Okay, back through the hole. Okay, whoops. This will move along your bracelet, so beware. You may even want to secure your bracelet with some tape so that it doesn't move around. Okay, get in there. All right, so we'll pull it tight. Pull it tight, pull it tight. Okay, make sure that's tight down the way you want it, and then wrap it a few more times around very tightly. Okay, and then clip. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside. I'm gonna smush that little end piece down so it doesn't stab me while I'm wearing my bracelet. I'm gonna just kind of pinch all that because it makes me feel better to do so. Okay, so we've got our first one on. So now I'm gonna lay it down and I'm gonna remember where I want my next one. So about right here. So I'm gonna do kind of the same thing except for I don't have that initial loop to start with. I'm gonna start wrapping. Get it started there. Okay. And then I'll thread my bead on. Okay. Hold it in place and then wrap tightly. I'm gonna go back through. Sometimes you have to help. Okay. If it gets twisted, you just need to untwist or smush it further. Okay. Get in there. All right, there we go. So now make sure that's where you want it. 'Cause if it's not, you can kind of slide it along right now very carefully. But now I'm gonna wrap. And so when I came up on this side. So now when I'm coming back down to wrap it around, I'm gonna come down this side. I don't know if that actually does anything, but it makes me feel like it's more balanced and sturdy. So that's what I do. Okay, so a few times around. Oops. Clip. And smush. And there we go. So you keep doing this all the way around. If I can, I do like to try to make sure that I have one of my beads near where this end is, and I also try to kind of make sure that's tucked up toward the inside of my bracelet so that it's not just hanging out. But if it's not, if it ends up and you don't have a bead on that and it is just hanging out, you can take wire cutters and come back in and just trim it close to a bead, whatever bead is closest to it, just so it's not hanging out. But that's how you do this. And when you're done, you'll have your own very special bracelet that you can then slip on and see. This one is appropriately sized for my hand because I traced a bangle that I already had. All right, so let me know if you have any questions, and I would love to see your finished bracelets. Bye.